Have you ever felt a profound sense of disillusionment with what the world calls love? A deep, unshakable knowing that the connections you've been taught to chase are merely echoes of a far more sacred truth. If this message has found you, it is not by accident. It is a sign from the universe, a divine appointment for your soul's awakening. You are standing at a pivotal crossroads, a moment of profound choice. You can either turn away, clinging to the familiar comfort of the illusion, or you can take a breath, open your heart, and allow the divine truth to illuminate the path forward. What you are about to hear may dismantle the very foundations of your understanding of romance, intimacy, and connection. It is designed to shatter the chains you never knew were there. If your soul is yearning for this liberation, if you feel the vibration of this truth calling to you, then you are in the right place. Let us know you are part of this awakening by liking this video, subscribing to join our collective, and sharing in the comments a simple "I am ready" to signal your commitment to this journey. You are not alone in this feeling. You are part of a global shift in consciousness. Let us begin by unveiling the invisible architecture that has governed your heart for far too long. Think of it as a subtle, energetic matrix, a web of collective beliefs, ancestral patterns, and societal programming that has been silently dictating the rules of love and connection since the moment you were born. You meet someone, and a spark ignites a powerful electric current that you are told is destiny. The conversation flows with an almost pre-scripted ease, each word, each glance, each touch, feeling like a scene from a perfectly directed film. In these moments, you believe you are exercising your free will, that your soul is freely choosing another from a world of infinite possibilities. You feel a sense of agency, of divine alignment, believing that this powerful attraction is a sign from the universe that you have found the one. But what if that initial spark, that intoxicating chemistry, is not a sign of soul-level resonance, but rather a recognition of a familiar energetic pattern? What if every move you make, every word you choose, every hesitation you feel is not born of your authentic self, but is instead a pre-programmed response, an echo from a hidden matrix of power and control designed to keep you seeking but never truly finding? The great philosopher Michel Foucault, a master at deconstructing the unseen forces that shape society, revealed a profound truth. The most potent form of power is not the one that crushes you with overt force, like a boot on your neck. No, the most insidious power is the one that seduces you with a whisper. It operates in the shadows, making you believe you are in complete control of your destiny while it masterfully pulls the strings of your deepest desires and fears. It conditions you to want what it wants you to want, to chase what it tells you is valuable, and to fear losing what was never truly yours to begin with. Nowhere is this invisible architecture more pervasive, more deeply embedded in our collective psyche than in the realm of romantic relationships. Consider the elegant salons of 18th century France. These were not merely social gatherings. They were intricate theaters of power. The aristocracy didn't maintain their dominance through brute force alone. They did it through a complex system of unspoken rules, subtle gestures, and carefully constructed social rituals. The way a woman held her fan could signal passionate interest or utter disdain. The rules of courtship, the unspoken hierarchies, the carefully chosen words, all of it was a meticulously designed power game, a dance of control and submission disguised as romance and elegance. Now, fast forward to today. The stage has changed, but the play remains the same. You are on a dating app, scrolling through a seemingly endless gallery of faces, each one a potential story, a potential connection. You swipe right. She matches. You craft the perfect opening message, agonizing over every word. She responds, or perhaps she doesn't, leaving you in a state of anxious anticipation. You believe you are playing the game of modern love, but Foucault would have seen the truth with piercing clarity. The game is playing you. The algorithms, designed to maximize engagement through intermittent reinforcement, are the new fan language. The societal scripts that dictate who should pursue, who should wait, who holds the power in the dynamic, these are the new, unspoken rules of courtship. None of this is natural. It is an engineered reality, a modern panopticon. Foucault's concept of the panopticon was a prison design where inmates could be watched at any moment, but never knew for certain if they were being observed. The result? The prisoners began to police themselves, constantly modifying their behavior to conform to the unseen warden's expectations. Now, apply this to your own experience in dating. Have you not felt that same internalized surveillance? That quiet voice in your head that whispers self-doubt before you send a text? Is this too needy? Will I seem desperate? What if I say the wrong thing? That is not your authentic voice. That is the voice of the warden, the internalized surveillance of modern romance, a program running in your subconscious that forces you to censor your true feelings, to suppress your genuine desires, to perform a version of yourself that you believe will be deemed worthy of affection. And this programming is not exclusive to men. Women, too, are trapped within this matrix, conditioned to play their own prescribed roles, to withhold affection, to maintain value, to play aloof, to avoid seeming easy, to test and to challenge as a way of gauging worth. Both are puppets in a game where the only real winner is the system of control itself, a system that thrives on insecurity, validation seeking, and the perpetual hunger for an external source of love. This is the invisible prison we have been taught to call romance, and the first step to liberation is to finally see the bars of the cage. Now, we must venture deeper into the heart of this matrix, to expose the very mechanism that keeps the system running, the gaslighting of your soul and the weaponization of your deepest need for connection. You wake up one morning, lying next to someone you thought you knew, and a chilling feeling washes over you. Something is fundamentally off. The woman beside you, the one who once looked at you as if you were the answer to a prayer she had whispered into the darkness, now subtly flinches when you reach for her. An invisible wall has been erected, and you have no idea how it was built. It's not because you've changed, not because you've consciously done anything to hurt her. It is because the system, the grand romantic industrial complex, has conditioned her to perceive your raw, unfiltered desire as a potential threat. It has taught her that your need for intimacy is a form of pressure, and that her power lies in her ability to grant or withhold it. This is not paranoia. This is not mere insecurity. This is the second, more sinister layer of Foucault's power matrix in action. He called it biopower, the control of populations by managing the most intimate aspects of life itself: birth, death, health, and sexuality. The romantic industrial complex is a form of biopower. It is a vast, invisible machine that manufactures guilt and shame in men for the simple, natural crime of wanting love and connection. Let me tell you a story you will not forget. A story that reveals the chilling efficiency of this mechanism. In the 19th century, a British bureaucrat named Edwin Chadwick, a man obsessed with social order and control, pioneered the modern sewage system in London. His stated goal was public health, but his underlying motive was far more revealing. It was moral regulation. Chadwick believed that disease spread not just through germs, but through the moral filth of the poor. He saw their poverty and their way of life as a moral failing, and he designed the sewer system not just to remove waste, but to reshape behavior, to literally flush out the perceived impurities of the lower classes and discipline them into a state of cleanliness and order. The pipes were not just pipes, they were instruments of control. Foucault would have called this a perfect example of biopower. And today, this same principle is at play in our relationships. We are taught to see our own desires, our deepest, most primal instincts, as something dirty that must be managed, purified, and controlled. Think of the self-help industry, the endless articles, the relationship coaches, all selling you a system for fixing yourself, for purifying your desires so that you might one day be worthy of love. They are the modern-day Chadwicks, promising health while enforcing a new kind of moral order. Now, fast forward to last night. You hesitated before kissing her. Why? Not because you didn't feel the desire, but because somewhere along your journey, you absorbed the toxic lie that your desire is inherently predatory. That wanting her, truly wanting her, is somehow a violation unless she has granted you explicit, moment-by-moment permission. You have been trained to believe that you must earn affection through an endless performance of emotional labor, while she remains the sacred gatekeeper, the ultimate arbiter of your worth. This is gaslighting on a civilizational scale. The romantic industrial complex pathologizes healthy male desire while simultaneously framing female indifference or emotional withdrawal as a form of empowerment. And what is the devastating result? A generation of men who constantly police themselves, who preemptively surrender their power, who are trapped in a state of psychological captivity. They have developed a form of emotional Stockholm syndrome, bonding with the very system that causes them pain. How many men do you know who have been cheated on, lied to, or emotionally starved, only to return, begging for another chance, believing that they are the ones who are flawed? How many have been told they are too needy or too intense for simply wanting basic human affection and reciprocity? This is not love. This is a carefully orchestrated psychological operation, and you are its target. Foucault warned that the most effective power is the power that doesn't feel like oppression. It feels like common sense. It feels like the way things are supposed to be. But the truth is, you have been trained like a dog, conditioned to seek scraps of validation, to perform for the fleeting high of her approval. But there is a way out. And now, we will expose the nuclear weapon of this control system, the final lie that keeps you chained, and we will reveal the one truth that can set you free. It's time to fight back. There comes a moment in every man's life, a subtle, almost imperceptible shift when the illusion finally shatters. It's in the flicker of her eyes when you fail to react the way she expects, the calculated pause before she answers your text, the way she tests your boundaries with a casual remark. In that instant, you see the game for what it is. You realize this is not a relationship. It is a silent coup, a slow-motion conquest of your soul's autonomy. But here is the secret that the entire romantic industrial complex is terrified you will discover. Foucault didn't just expose these power structures, he gave us the divine blueprint to dismantle them. In 1971, the infamous Stanford prison experiment proved something terrifying. Give an ordinary person a shred of institutional power, and they can quickly become a tyrant. But what the history books often fail to emphasize is how the experiment was forced to end. One prisoner, a man named Douglas Corpy, refused to break. He did not beg. Instead, he staged such a convincing mental breakdown that the researchers, fearing for their study, had to release him. The moment he was free, he tore off his prisoner's uniform and stormed back to the lab, sabotaging the experiment from the outside. Foucault would have called this an act of glorious rebellion, because the only way to win a rigged game is to flip the entire board. Every relationship you have ever experienced came with a pre-written script: the pursuer and the pursued, the provider and the nurturer, the beggar and the gatekeeper. These roles are not your divine truth. They are the bars of a cage. The times you swallowed your anger to keep the peace, the hobbies you abandoned because she found them childish, the way you learned to perform vulnerability like an actor hitting his marks. This is what Foucault called subjectification, the insidious process by which power convinces you to become your own jailer. But here is the path to your freedom, the art of ungovernable love. It begins not with anger, but with unshakable awareness. This is what Sun Tzu taught in The Art of War. He who is desperate to win has already lost. Apply this to love. The moment you need her approval, she owns you. The instant you fear her withdrawal, she dictates your worth. The second you prioritize her happiness over your own soul's sovereignty, you have surrendered. The way out is through what Foucault called counter-conduct, the art of resisting power not through direct confrontation, but through a radical, divine irreverence. When she tests you with silence, you must learn to enjoy the quiet. When she weaponizes touch, you must have the strength to walk away. When she implies you should be grateful for scraps of her attention, you must laugh. This is not manipulation. It is renegotiation. It is you reclaiming your energetic sovereignty. They will call you cold. They will say you've given up on love. They are lying. What you are giving up is the lie that love requires surrender. True love, the kind of high vibrational connection your soul is yearning for, does not demand that you shrink. It magnifies you. It does not police your desires. It celebrates them. And it sure as hell does not keep score. Foucault's last words were a question. Why care about truth when lies bring so much pleasure? But what he truly meant was this. Pleasure without freedom isn't pleasure. It's anesthesia. The real question is not whether you will wake up. It's what you will do when you do. You can continue feeding the machine, hoping that this time the rules will be fair. Or you can begin to live so authentically, so unapologetically, in alignment with your higher self, that the wrong women flee from your frequency and the right one fights to stay. The cage door is open. All that's left is for you to walk out. Type, "I am awake" in the comments if you are ready to reclaim your power and walk the path of ungovernable love. Your new life begins now.